guys doing? Welcome back, or welcome to Crystal Lake Breaks. Today is another Thursday video, which means it's going to be a lip and tear video. And for today's video, we're going to take a bit of a change of pace from the usual folklores, folktales, state history videos, and talk about an event that happened quite recently. Today, we're going to be talking about the OceanGate submersible disaster. Specifically, we're going to be talking about some of the history, the background, and some of the controversies surrounding this company, and why there wasn't necessarily a lot of surprise from certain members of the community when something went wrong. So to begin, we'll start at the origins of OceanGate. OceanGate was founded in 2009. During its early years, OceanGate would expand operations to Florida and the Caribbean from its West Coast origins. It would also collaborate with the University of Washington and study invasive fish with Nova Southeastern University. Studies regarding submersibles would begin in the company in 2013, and eventually, a report regarding the submersible model named Cyclops 1 would be published in 2015. It would be published in the same year that customers would begin signing up and placing deposits for trips to the Titanic. In 2016, the submersible would dive to the Andrea Doria wreck in Nantucket, opening the gates for the full announcement in 2017 of Titanic voyages. In 2017, OceanGate would also finish assembly of a core pressure vessel. This completion would set the stage for 2018 tweets regarding the success of Cyclops 2. Cyclops 2 would eventually become none other than the Titan submersible. In the same year of 2018, OceanGate would also face opposition, specifically from the Marine Technology Society, who sent a letter clearly stating concern and opposition to the development of the Titan and the Titanic voyages. Additionally, despite plans, in April of 2018, OceanGate would cancel the expedition set for June 2nd to the 9th. It was pushed to July of 2019. Around this time, more issues would bubble to the surface. In July of 2018, OceanGate would sue the former director of Marine Operations, and in August of 2018, this former director of Marine Operations would create a counterclaim regarding safety concerns related to the Titan. However, the case would resolve in November of 2018, when the case was ultimately dismissed due to settlement between the parties. In December of 2018, OceanGate would reach 13,000 feet while using the Titan submersible in the Bahamas, which represented major progress to the company and growing readiness for Titanic expeditions. In 2019, OceanGate would receive a patent on systems used to recover objects in the ocean. Another delay on the Titanic expedition with a new date set for June of 2020, and finally, a complete cancellation of the 2020 expedition. At the beginning of 2020, OceanGate would begin using the money raised to create more deep sea submersibles for Titanic dives. In the same year, NASA would partner with OceanGate to consult regarding materials and manufacturing related to the submersibles. In November of 2020, OceanGate announced it would begin allowing tourist dives to begin the following year. In 2021, NASA astronaut Scott Parazynski announced he would join the expedition. OceanGate would send expedition plans to the U.S. District Court. Another patent for more methods and systems related in recovering objects in the ocean, a successful first submersible dive to the Titanic, a third patent for monitoring the integrity of composite structures, and finally, tickets going for sale for the next expedition. Clearly, 2021 was a very busy year for OceanGate, including making some large strides in getting patents and opening up the ticket sales. The following year, in 2022, OceanGate would update the U.S. District Court on further expedition plans for the Titanic. However, the first 2022 expedition in July of 2022 would prove a failure, as the expedition did not find the Titanic during its dive. Video footage in August of the same year would document a successful trip to the Titanic, however, reassuring those interested that members of OceanGate could successfully navigate their way to the wreck. Coming into 2023, OceanGate would claim to have successfully brought 60 customers and at least 15 researchers to the Titanic using the Titan submersible. Yet in February of 2023, OceanGate would again find themselves tied up in legal woes with alleged conduct of fraudulent inducement. In April of 2023, OceanGate again would update the U.S. District Court of expedition plans before conducting expeditions aimed at beginning in May and ending at the close of June. On June 17th, 2023, the team of 5 would prepare for the disastrous journey that would ultimately culminate in a massive search effort and many unanswered questions. So that's a lot of the background that would lead up to the expedition. However, you can clearly see and hear throughout the history here that OceanGate hasn't had the most clean successes. They've been tied up in legal troubles, concerns about safety from those who are experts in the submersible area, and they've also dealt with customers feeling that there's some shiftiness going on. While they did work with NASA, it does seem like OceanGate has operated in some shady manners in the past. We will now move on to the 5 days during which the search for the submersible would occur. On June 18th, 2023, the first day of the expedition, Titan would leave the Polar Prince Canadian research boat at 8 a.m. By 9:45 a.m., Polar Prince would lose communication with Titan, the first sign of trouble. By 3 p.m., when the Titan should have resurfaced, concerns were raised, ultimately leading to a Coast Guard report at 5:40 p.m. regarding the submersible. On the same day, the Navy acoustic tools would pick up an anomaly in the area where the Titan was believed to have gone missing. On June 19, 2023, day 2 of the Titan being missing, the search would officially begin, with the U.S. Coast Guard utilizing aircraft and cooperating with Canadian aircraft to search for the sub. Results clearly indicated that there were no definitive signs of the sub. On the third day of the sub being missing, and the second day of the search, the Canadian aircraft, which was equipped with sonar equipment for underwater use, would pick up underwater noises within the search vicinity. The U.S. Coast Guard would begin coordinating multiple search vessels and a variety of tools searching 100,000 square miles. Additionally, aid from Canadian ships and even a French research vessel in the area would become involved in the search. On June 21st, 2023, day 4 of the sub being missing, and day 3 of the search, the U.S. Coast Guard would have deployed multiple aircraft, seacraft, and detained U.S. Navy assistance, including deep ocean salvage experts. On June 22nd, day 5 of the vessel being missing, and the final day of the search, the Coast Guard would announce at 11:48 a.m. that a debris field was found near the Titanic. Upon analysis, it was speculated that it was likely caused by a catastrophic implosion. As such, OceanGate would officially announce that the crew of the Titan was lost. After the 5-day search, OceanGate would find the lawsuit that was commenced in February of 2023 dropped, and instead, investigations by the Canadian authorities and the Coast Guard began. The investigations hold the goal of determining the cause and events leading up to the disaster that would take the lives of 5 crew members aboard the Titan. So as of now, Wednesday, June the 28th, that's all of the information we have regarding what happened to the Titan submersible and the ongoing investigation with OceanGate. Clearly, this was a journey that wasn't meant to have such disastrous consequences, but it did. And the history and the years prior of tumultuous legal issues, of safety concerns, of constant cancellations and date pushbacks leads to some concern about the company's practices, because that is a little bit concerning that if you're going to be on this submersible, that there's people actively protesting its use because it might not be safe, and these are experts in the field. But I can also see why it would be confusing, because NASA did work with them on a project. So that's the OceanGate submersible disaster and all the information we have up until now. Hope you guys found this one interesting. It's definitely different from our usual lip and tear videos where it's more folklore or, story based, but it's something where I think that the speculation or what ifs are honestly just as terrifying as what actually did happen, which is this implosion at thousands of feet under the water where there's nothing you can do. Anyway, guys, the candle's burning low, our cards have been broken, and with that, I'm gonna have to say goodbye. So hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you next time.